Hello YouTube. It's a bit dark in here, that's because it's pretty late at night and I actually wanted to retake this video here. Because at first I recorded this video with my OnePlus One and it really didn't come out as good as I wanted it to. And so far what I've seen is that this Nexus 6 has a significantly better camera. Now, to the topic of this particular video, these three laptops. Let me just, whoops. Put them in front a little bit more. This is a Promedion laptop in a Clevo chassis. This is an Acer Aspire 3680. And this is an HP Compaq NX7010. These are all pretty old laptops by now. The newest of the bunch is this Acer, which is from late 2006. Actually has DDR2 memory, runs reasonably well. But I will start off with the Centrino laptops here, because these are actually the least interesting laptops of the bunch. Well, they are slightly interesting because of the way they look. I particularly like the look of the HP Compaq over here. But let's just take a look at these laptops first. First of all, this is the Promedion. It's on the bottom. It just says notebook computer, model M3SW. As you can see, has some kind of subwoofer thing going on down there. All kinds of intakes. Pretty much everything you need to access is underneath this panel, except for the CPU heatsink, which will require full disassembly. The CPU in this was originally 1.4 GHz. It's been upgraded to 1.6, I believe. By the way, this Promedion has nothing to do with the Medion brand as far as I'm aware, because they don't make generic crap like this. I've seen regular Medion laptops from this era, and they're all just fine in terms of build quality, nothing special. Usually Pentium 4 desktop chips. But here on the right hand side we have a microphone input, headphone jack, and a line in, or line out, or whatever that is. DVD or W drive, and here's the power jack. On the back is, on the left hand side, a Kensington lock, a USB blank, I don't know why that is there, and the outtake for the exhaust is right there. And here on this side of the laptop we have an intake, VGA, blank for an S-video, modem and Ethernet, 100 megabit, and two more USB 2.0 ports. And I think, yeah, this is a blank for FireWire. And on top is a PC card slot. On the front we have useless buttons that don't do anything. One is for mail, one is for Wi-Fi, and one is for whatever the fuck that might be. I used the serial on the bottom to install a fresh copy of Windows XP Home Edition. Or as people called it back in the day, Windows XP Homo Edition. Because it was, in the eyes of many people, an inferior version of Windows XP. I will just turn the laptop on if it will let me. Still holds a charge, the battery still lasts about 2 hours. So it's actually pretty good, considering the age of the laptop. Has a webcam, which is, well, shit. There's no other way to put it. And also throws up this dumb RQ error for the onboard NIC. I don't know where the fuck that's coming from. Didn't have that when I got it at first. It sort of developed over time. I don't know. The main problem with this laptop is that the sound doesn't work. It works from an external device like a pair of headphones or a USB sound card. It works just fine. But the built-in speakers are not working. Either because, well, one of the wires is dead, or because they're just not hooked up, or whatever is going on there. I don't know. But the speakers don't work. And the other downside to this laptop is the keyboard. It's absolutely horrible. Especially here, next to the Alt key is a computer logo key, and you keep hitting that if you want to hit the space bar, because when I'm typing, I usually hit the left side of the space bar there with my thumb. And that's annoying. So yeah, you can't really type on this. This keyboard is absolutely terrible. The best thing about this whole laptop is actually the display. This is the same display that Apple used in their PowerBook G4s, the 15-inch models, the titaniums as well as the later aluminums. Or as we say it in Europe, which is the official term, aluminium. Aluminium it is. But yeah. So it's a 1280 by 854 display instead of the regular 1280-800. You have 54 more pixels vertically, so you have a little bit more screen real estate. Doesn't help a whole lot, but it does compensate for the taskbar, so you don't lose space there. And if you hide the taskbar, you have an additional 32 pixels at your disposal. And that's always nice to have. Alrighty then. It's slowly booting up. We'll see if we can actually get a better focus on the display here. There we go. Let's open up the system preferences here. It's not a particularly fast machine because I installed an antivirus software on there. There you go, Intel Pentium M processor 1.6. Has 2 gigs of DDR RAM. More than it will ever need, running Windows XP Home Edition Service Pack 3. Not much else on there. This laptop is fully SIS based as SIS onboard video, which sucks. It's 672 MX or something like that. SIS 900 Ethernet, which is sort of okay. At least it has Pixie Boot and Wacom LAN capabilities. But yeah, it's really, really basic. And it's just a piece of generic crap in my book. Well, let's put that to the side and take a look at the HP Compaq NX7010. This is what it looks like. I guess this was one of those entry-level business machines that they made. This is from not too long after Compaq and HP merged, I think. So yeah, let's just take a look at the laptop, at the exterior. Got an SD card reader on the front, which is right there. Got some jacks here as well. They're unlabeled, so I have no clue. Wi-Fi button here on the right. On this side of the laptop, we have an infrared port, the power input, Kensington lock, and some vent stuff. And here on the back, we have a full array of ports. We have a VGA port, S-Video, 2 USB ports, Ethernet modem, a parallel printer port, one more USB port, mini FireWire, a PC card slot on this side, and a DVD RW drive again. It's in overall okay condition. The trackpad is not particularly worn. The keyboard is slightly worn, but works just fine. Actually has reasonably nice feel to it for a business machine of this era. Has JBL Pro speakers. They're absolutely horrible, but they work. Has ATI mobility radio, 9200 graphics. Intel Pentium M 1.4 GHz in this unit. And it is running Ubuntu Linux. I believe it's running 10.04 LTS, which is ancient, but at least it has the video drivers for this particular video chipset. The battery is stone dead, so we will hook it up. There we go. The indicator on the front of the laptop will indicate that it is working, but it's not charging. It will go green in a little bit. The battery is absolutely toast. I think this laptop has 512 megs of memory. Maybe I bumped this up to 1.25 gigs. I don't actually remember. Oh wait, it's running OpenSUSE. Now I remember. It's OpenSUSE 11.2, I think. So it's pretty old, but it works. This laptop has a very interesting issue where it will not keep running Windows. At first I thought it was a problem with the memory, because whenever I swapped out the memory for a lower capacity, it had 2 gigs when I got it, it would simply refuse to load the second stage of Windows Setup, or even go into setup for Windows XP at all. It just wouldn't go there. And Linux seemed to work fine. So there's something wrong with the memory controller in this laptop, I think. Because this only happens on Windows. And Linux is absolutely fine. But whenever you put Windows on it, if the installation succeeds at all, you're probably only good for about 1 or 2 sessions, and then it will just give up. And you will have to reinstall the operating system. Wow, that was interesting. Huh. It almost looked like it was going to exhibit the exact same issue. But, I guess not. There we go, some extra lighting here on the side. That's better. Okie dokie. So yeah, now we're at our OpenSUSE desktop. There's not a particular lot to show here. Just that it sort of works. Let's open up the default web browser, Conqueror. Comes up very quickly. We are connected to Wi-Fi. This piece of shit will only take Intel 2000 series Wi-Fi adapters, or else it will not boot. I got it without a Wi-Fi card, that also works. Date and timer totally busted, so let's just shut her down. And take a look at the Acer Aspire 3680. Alright. Let's put that aside until it's actually properly shut down. So here is the Acer Aspire 3680. Once again, a free acquisition. And it's not perfect either. This laptop only really has 2 problems. One is not necessarily a hardware defect, but more of a restriction. So the real problem with this laptop is that your Wi-Fi button is busted, and it's busted in the off position. So internal Wi-Fi cards will no longer pick up a signal. Very annoying. I had to add a PC card adapter in order to get this thing on the Wi-Fi again. The other thing is that it will not run with anything faster than a Celeron M, because it has a 940 GML chipset. But let's take a look at the exterior of the laptop. Got some lights there, speaker grills. Here are the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth buttons. This is the headphone jack, microphone, and line in. On this side we just have the DVD or W drive, and on the back here are modem and charging port. On the back, you probably can't tell shit in this lighting. I am very sorry, guys. We have Kensington lock 2 USB 2.0 ports, and there's an Ethernet jack here on the right. And this is the last side we're going to take a look at. VGA port, cooling vent, S-video, 1 more USB, and the PC card slot with an SD card slot above it. Which is, well, here, you can't tell, but yeah, it's fucking there, so yeah. Other than that, this laptop is actually pretty decked out. It has 2 gigs of RAM, Celeron M 1.6 GHz, which sucks. Has a 14-inch display, 1280-800. 80 gig hard drive, very basic. And it now has an 802.11 and 300 megabit Wi-Fi card in the PC card slot. Keyboard is immaculate, has barely ever been used. This laptop was still covered in plastic on the inside for the most part. This whole side here, all the glossy plastic, was still covered in plastic. Well, wrapping. Yeah, you know what I mean. Display is slightly busted, looks just fine, but it has this look to it where you can clearly tell that has been some heavy stuff stored on top of it. So it has some small imprint of that. But you don't really notice it when you're in front of the display, so that's not bad. Trackpad has no use at all. The left mouse button is slightly busted, but works just fine. I usually just tap on a thing anyway. So yeah, let's boot it up. It's running Windows 10 32-bit, believe it or not. When I got it, it still had its original installation of Windows XP Media Center Edition. I actually made a copy of that and burned it to a DVD so I can restore it whenever I feel like it. Because Windows XP Media Center is slightly a rare version. At least here where I live. And by the way, the webcam on this thing isn't actually all that bad. It's pretty comparable to the 2015 MacBook. That was a low shot. That was really low. But yeah, it's pretty much true. It's 480p, and it looks just fine, really. It's fine for what it is. So let's just wait for it to log on. Boots up okay-ishly fast, I should say. Then again, it's not a completely clean installation of Windows 10 either. But at least it boots fast on Windows 7 on here. Whenever I installed Windows 7 on this thing, the installation immediately got busted. I couldn't use any Windows installer files. All of those exes would immediately corrupt. But yeah, let's just go to the system overview. You gotta keep in mind it's a Celeron M, and it hasn't actually finished booting up yet. But usually whenever the disk stops thrashing, it's actually pretty zippy. No, the window's frozen. Come on. Eesh. Nope, I do not want Windows malware stuff to run for now. Really don't. Let's take a look at the specs in here. As you can see there, Celeron M CPU. It's a Celeron M420 1.6. 2 gigs of RAM, 32-bit operating system, Windows 10 Home Edition. It's activated because I have Microsoft Toolkit, of course, because who the frick is gonna pay for such an old laptop? This thing came with XP, so I didn't have free upgrade rights to 10 anyway. And now it's actually activated and linked to my motherboard. So when I want to reinstall, I can just do it and I have a legal version of 10. Yay! Thanks, Microsoft. Thanks for the gift. Appreciate it. So yeah, has GMA 950 graphics, so that's why I could actually run Windows 10 on here. A lot of laptops from this era had pretty much the graphics that the Compaq has, pretty much, you know, Radeon 9000 series, but not really the good kind that could run Aero. Or they had GMA 900, which could not run Aero as well, or either, or whatever you want to call it. It's late at night, so I just wanted to get this out because I have been creating a huge backlog on videos on my channel. So instead of making 3 videos on these laptops, I just took the opportunity to put all of them in one video. So hopefully you found this slightly interesting, at least in the very least, and I wish you all a good night, and see you guys in the next video.